I was pleasantly surprised to see Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu reading my book in the Knesset, full assembly of the Knesset. The book, Toward a Meaningful Life in Hebrew, Haderech L'chaim Shel Mashmuut. Of all places. But I wasn't shocked, because I've always known that this book, which presents the teachings of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, which in turn distills and draws from over 90 generations, thousands of years of powerful, eternal and timeless wisdom, psychology, clarity and direction for life, is relevant to every person on this earth, and especially a prime minister, and especially a prime minister of Israel, and especially in times like this, in times of crisis, in times of war. This book has a special chapter called Eretz Yisrael, about the sanctity, the centrality, the importance of the Holy Land of Israel. The importance not just for the Jewish people, but for the entire world. It speaks in a very emotional and powerful way about the IDF, Israel Defense Forces, the Tzahal, how they sacrifice their lives to defend and protect innocent men, women, and children. So I'm confident and sure that this will speak volumes to the Prime Minister in these unique times. Indeed, right after the war began, October 7th, what we call Shmini Atzeret Simchas Torah 2023, that difficult and horrendous Shabbos morning, Saturday morning, we all hearing the news, wherever we were in the world, everyone will remember exactly where they were that time. So right after that, we decided to launch, to complement the physical war, Operation Spiritual Swords, where we deployed spiritual weapons, teachings, insights, empowerment to address all the issues around this battle, all the issues that our enemies are attacking us, to clarify truth from false. And above all, we did something extraordinary. We decided to publish a special edition of Toward a Meaningful Life in Hebrew, 50,000 books, to be given out personally to 50,000 of the Israeli military. And it's called Madura Miyuchedes, a special edition in honor of the Tzahal, in honor of the IDF. That is the book that Prime Minister Netanyahu was holding. If you look closely, you'll see the bottom left corner of the cover of the book. You could see the special edition stated there. 50,000 soldiers, distributed personally. I had the merit just a few weeks ago to be in the front lines a few minutes away from Rafah. Yes, southern Gaza. So there's an Israeli military base called Tse'alim. I spoke for these great giants, these great heroes of ours, the soldiers. And I said to them, I'm humbled, literally in awe, and feel embarrassed even, to stand before you, 20, 21-year-olds, ready to give their lives. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? With a smile, with unity, with enthusiasm. The concepts of procrastination, laziness, lethargy that we have so often in our Western world doesn't exist there. All you hear in the media and the news doesn't exist. These are young people with a tremendous vigor and energy, ready to protect the lives and the values of the promised land of Israel and its people, and the values of all innocent people everywhere. If you know the lengths that they go to, this blood libel that you hear out there, it's not just a lie, it's absolute obscenity. It's as bad as the crimes themselves. Standing with these soldiers, you feel uplifted, empowered. So I spoke for them. I told them about their greatness. I read a section from the book in Hebrew about their role, about their critical role in history. You should see the reaction. Some were crying, some were laughing. They came over to me But again, it was about them. Literally going into Gaza maybe the next day. This is the book that Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu was holding and reading in the Knesset. I'd love to find out what exactly he read so far, and most importantly, how he implements it. Because we need more than anything right now is strength, pride, to know that we're fighting the right, the moral, correct war with a moral vision, a moral clarity, and a moral compass. And it's not just for the Jewish people, it's for the entire world. Because that's exactly, as the book emphasizes, when Abraham pioneered the path of tzedakah and mishpat, of justice and charity and virtue and kindness, was not just for his own children and his family, but for the entire world. And look indeed, over history, his pioneering spirit, his pioneering message has infiltrated. But there's much more work to be done, as is quite obvious. So I take deep pride. I'm only a messenger. I listen to these teachings, I put them down on paper, wrote it in the book. The book does not belong to me, it belongs to all of us. And hopefully it's successful in its mission, which is take these teachings and apply them to every aspect of our lives. You may be aware that just a few months ago I had met another world leader, head of state, President Javier Milei, who is extremely pro-Israel, pro-Jewish, but not for the reason you may think. Many people think because he had some Jewish friends, he did business with Jews. No. He fundamentally believes in the vision of Abraham and Moshe and Moses. He's told this to me many times. We became friends last September, right before the war broke out. He became president in November 2023, to everyone's surprise. The first time I met him, I gave him the book in Spanish. And I remember him asking me, with like awe, he said, "You sat before the master and listened and absorbed?" And we became very close friends. Once he became president, we've interacted. I flew to Argentina. Together we went to Israel. Unique man in unique times. Where do you find leaders today? Our political leaders, our business leaders, all our leaders, are they showing leadership? Have you heard one talk, one lecture, one paper presented that gives us a moral vision for the future without pandering and the politics and elections? I told this to President Milei. I said, God put you in this position to provide to Argentina not just a better economy, which is critical, and good life for all its citizens, but also a moral vision, a spiritual vision. I like to bring together President Milei and Prime Minister Netanyahu. They're reading the book, one in Spanish, one in Hebrew. I should mention there's 12 other languages that it's been translated into. So maybe we can get to those prime ministers and those leaders as well. And again, this is about a vision that's much bigger than any individual, bigger than a book. It's a vision that began thousands of years ago when Abraham gazed out onto the promised land, when God said to him, all the promises, this land, and you'll be a blessing to all the nations of the world. You'll be a father of all nations. All nations, the Jewish people, the Christian, Western, Roman world, and the Muslim, the Arab Muslim world, and everything in between, the Buddhists and the Hindus and the atheists and the agnostics. I don't mean to put them all in one, but anyone, however you label yourself, the universal vision that you and I were sent to this world, a soul with a unique mission, an indispensable mission, to illuminate your corner of the world, to transform the material world into a spiritual garden with a higher state of consciousness and awareness. Every one of us, and each of us have our unique role, the unique place we are in the world, the people we know, the opportunities that come, our unique personalities. All of that has to come together. That despite the fact that we live in a world of multitude details, all be aligned to the higher purpose. Think of it that we have the life operator's manual, a blueprint for life from the Creator himself, like an engineer. You You have a machine, you look at what the engineer's operator's manual says. That's how you align the world to the cosmic plan of the Creator himself, God. Each in our own way. Harmony within diversity. E pluribus unum, from the many one. Does not compromise our individuality. Everyone in their own path, but all as one larger harmony. As the prophet says, that the day will come when all the nations will serve one God, each in their own way. And this house, the temple, will be a house of prayer for all people. The Jewish people will be a light unto nations. And just as we prevailed in past centuries and millennia, this message will prevail now as well. It took a long time to tame and harness Christian radicalism. And the same doesn't need as much time can happen to radicalism today, of the Muslim radicalism or other forms of it. To take out the best, but living peacefully, with love, being more powerful than hate, and unity more powerful than divisiveness. That's what Abraham taught to all his children. And that's what the book that Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu was looking at and reading. The book that President Javier Milei is reading. Hopefully this message will carry over to every person on this earth. That's my fervent hope and prayer. This isn't about selling books. This is about a vision that the world deserves to hear today. A vision that can transform your life, the life of your family, the life of your community, the life of your country, and the life of the entire globe. And we should merit, as I write about in the book as well, to the day, very soon, where it says in the Hebrew book of Isaiah, it says, there will no longer be evil and destruction, because the world will be filled with divine knowledge as the waters cover the sea. A world where the goal and the entire objective, preoccupation of the world will be not material gain, but material will be a means for spiritual growth, for higher consciousness and awareness, as Maimonides concludes his magnum opus. A world filled with divine knowledge as the waters cover the sea. That's the message, and each of us has our role to play. And I feel honored and humbled to have written Toward a Meaningful Life, Haderech L'Chaim Shel Mashmut. And hopefully these great leaders will use these messages to impact and transform their communities, their countries, and may it spread the butterfly effect, the ripple effect, to every person on this earth.